internet, and welcome to another episode of Thursday's Children here on GameKnights. I am your host and your game master, Savvy, and we are here to play Vaesen. I was like, it's eerily silent in here. It's because I don't have my music turned on. Let's make it fantasy for me personally. There we go. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you're here, and I'm excited to be back after a little bit of time off playing this game again. Before we get started, I'll tell you a little bit about what we got going on the channel here right now. If you're live with us on Twitch, our regular streaming schedule is on our drop page down below our faces. If you are not, if you're with us later on in the future, perhaps on YouTube, you can find our schedule on Twitch. You can also find it pinned to our Twitter page. You can find it pinned to our show's channel in our Discord. You can join us there, hang out, talk about games, play video games with us, all kinds of fun stuff. I think our schedule is pretty set for the next week. Our next live stream after this will be on Tuesday. I don't know what you guys are doing on Tuesday, but we have another episode of Tabletop Tuesdays where we play a variety of rotating games with a wonderful cast. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. And then we'll be back for Elegant Magics, our Good Society game, on Thursday. The first episode of our new season of Neon Souls on Friday, in which we're transitioning to Fate. Saturday night Star Power, which we're also playing Fate. And then Sunday we will be back here for more of this, maybe with some other stuff, video games and such in between. So come hang out with us then. We tweet whenever we go live, so follow us on Twitter, turn those notifications on, and never miss an exciting adventure with us. I'm gonna stop talking and fix my music because it's stuttering really bad on my end for some reason. I hope that's not happening for you guys. Okay, well, I'm gonna fix it while you guys introduce yourselves, tell the people who you are and who you are playing today, starting with Sid.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at anything, you can't remember.
Good memory. Hey, I'm Christina Sid. You can find me on the Twitters at Greek Sid. Again, usually just shit posting and talking about the fun stuff I do on the internet, like this stuff. I'm here Thursdays running Good Society. We're getting into our last chapter or two before we start a new season. We'll see what happens. Actually had a game of Good Society this week as opposed to whatever happened 2 weeks ago. I don't know what it was. It was amazing. Don't really know if it was Good Society, but you know, whatever. We had a good time. So check that out on
It was Great Society.
It was amazing society. Amazeballs society. That's what it was. But we're not doing any of that right now. Right now we're playing some Vaesen, and I am playing Tilda the writer.
I think that's me next. Hi, I'm Morgan, also known as Imaginatrix on the internet. I'm a cosplayer. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and all the good stuff where I post my cosplay and also memes that my dad made. Today I am playing Alina Yarvinen, who is the occultist.
Hello, I think I'm next. I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches. Tonight, I'm playing Villiblom. She is the servant, who is also a servant.
Hello, everybody. I'm Val at the Kratz Crown. On Twitter and Twitch, you can find me here Thursdays through Sundays playing and or running games. Like Savannah said, I run a game on Fridays called Neon Souls. We're doing our Session 0 for Season 3 this coming week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come join us for that. Otherwise, I run alternating games on Saturdays called Saturday Night's Mistborn, which I had a session of last night, and Saturday Night's Star Power, which will be coming up this next week. That's basically everything I'm doing, but tonight I am going to be playing Dr. Danni Madsen, who is the Doctor.
Excellent. Wonderful. Perfect. And I'm your GM, Savvy. And we, I think, on that note, are gonna get started. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a recap. But before I do. Last time you got development points because you finished a mystery for for adding something new to the Citadel. So I want to do that first, and then we'll do the recap, and then we'll jump back into where we left off, because where we left off is a little bit fraught, and I don't want to say we're going to pick back up where we left off, but first let's do this. So you all were talking about it before the game. Did you decide what you want to buy for your house?
I think a good point was brought up by Val that considering we may have some very angry, murderous ash tree wives at our front door, literally because there's an ash tree right outside our front door, maybe a guard wouldn't be a bad idea.
Guards is good. I'm gonna have to pull up the book. The real question is, where is this upgrades? In the book, starting on page 89. Anyone's interested? Where is guard? So I guess we could have done this before the stream. I forgot about it until I got halfway through talking about the channel. Guard. Okay. So you can get one guard. Savvy Echo. What have I done?
What have I done?
What's happening? Okay, so you can purchase a guard for 5 points. They protect the castle from burglars and enemies as best they can. The game master decides. So what you would do if you want to buy a guard is you get 12 points to spend on attributes for said guard and 6 to spend between the skills close combat, ranged combat, vigilance, and observation. So essentially we would fill out like a mini character sheet for this person. If you guys want to do that.
Can we hire Christopher? Billy's friend
yeah.
Christopher?
I forgot about him.
The hot one?
Oh, hell yeah. The bear of a man. Yes, please.
Is that what you guys want to do?
I think that sounds good.
All right, let's kit out Christopher real quick then. So maybe I'll just make a handout for him. Add handout.
Christopher Johansson? Is that Nordic enough?
I think I gave him a last name. Hold on.
Oh, you gave him one. Perfect.
I feel like I gave everyone like full stupid names.
All right,
Christopher Stupid
now has a handout
with
that
2 O's.
somebody can edit. It's just a handout. We'll just list.
Oh,
These
no, he
things.
wasn't one of my NPCs that I made.
You just
You just made him up on the fly.
Yeah. So what was that name? Sorry.
Johansson.
Who wants to be in charge of putting things on the handout?
I got it.
guess I'll do it. That dead silence was amazing.
Morgan straight up nose goes, you guys. All right, so Christopher will have the 4 attributes, the same ones that you all have. So physique, precision, logic, and empathy. Between which you can spend 12 points, putting those up to a max of 4. So what do you guys want Christopher to be good at?
Probably max out his force.
Well, so the
But he
question
taught
is,
you how
is
to
he gonna
shoot.
is he going to be doing guns? Because we've got the armory now, so we'll be able to use firearms. So
You can
So
have
maybe-
a weapon that is available at level 1, but it can be either a melee weapon or a ranged weapon.
But don't we have a thing with our, because we upgraded
Yeah.
the shooting
Oh, that's
range
right.
that-
It lets him have a higher
guards-
level stuff.
yeah, guards can carry ranged weapons from availability level 3 because of the shooting range.
Okay. It can still be a melee weapon or a ranged weapon, but so he'll get a weapon up to level 3.
Give him a pistol, I guess.
I'm thinking give him like or a rifle. And max out his precision instead.
Okay. Yeah. So 4 to precision. Give him 2 or 3 in force just in case it gets up close and personal.
Yeah. Well, what's the one for alertness? Like perception.
That would be vigilance.
Vigilance.
So that's logic.
So that should be decent, I think.
2 or 3 there. Okay, so he's got 4 for precision. 3 for logic or 2? We had total
Maybe.
12, yeah?
12.
4, 3 for logic. Let me write these down. So 4 logic, 3.
Another 3 for force, and then 2 in empathy. That's 12, yeah?
Give him a little empathy.
Little empathy.
Just enough.
Just a smidge empathy.
Just enough that he'll take captives.
That sounds good. That sounds about
Okay
right.
with everybody?
Eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna give him 4 skills. The important ones: close combat, ranged combat, vigilance, and observation.
So we get to divide 6 between those.
Yes, so you get 6 points to divide between those 4.
Is there a max we can give him?
Max 3.
Okay.
So close combat,
I think ranged combat at 3.
ranged combat, vigilance, and observation. So there's 1 skill to go with each of his attributes. So close combat for physique, ranged combat for precision, vigilance is logic, and observation is empathy.
I think 3 in ranged combat, 3 in vigilance.
Yes.
Okay.
If we're gonna
I would leave him
min-max
with
it.
the base attributes in the other 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'd rather him be very good at a couple of things than average at a bunch. But
No, that makes sense. I'm just wondering, like, well, I guess if they come upon him and he doesn't see them, he's really good at shooting them regardless. I'm just wondering
Well,
if it's
'cause-
better to be like, get him really good at vigilance so he always knows whether or not the fuckers are there.
Well, yeah.
Or-
So that would get vigilance that would be at 3, and ranged combat would be at 3.
Okay.
Because the max we can do is 3 for each.
Got it. Okay.
So.
I'm
Because
cool
the
with
only
that,
other
then.
thing I was thinking is observation, but we didn't give him hardly anything in empathy. And observation is more like
I'll
not
give you
necessarily
this.
noticing something, but like, oh, go.
He's not going to spend a whole lot of time looking for clues.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't think.
I'd
That's
prefer
good,
to
yeah.
have his vigilance be high so he can
Yeah.
sound the alarm if something happens. And if he shoots
Yes.
somebody who he wasn't supposed to, then that's fine. We can figure that out after.
As long as it's not one of us, don't throw that out into the ether.
All right. We got skills.
Cool.
All right. You're also going to give him a physical toughness of 2 and a mental toughness of 1. So this NPCs don't have conditions in this game. They have 2 toughness stats. Physical, they can take 2 essentially physical conditions. Mental, he can take essentially 1 mental condition. It's essentially how his health works. So he's got 3 physical toughness, 2 mental toughness, 1, and then he gets a weapon.
Rifle?
I think
Lost
rifle.
page. I still have no idea where the equipment is in this book.
I have the details on it because Danny has a rifle. But it should be a...
What the heck page is that on? Hang on.
Page 77. Oh, that's availability 4. Okay, no, he'd have to have a musket or a crossbow.
He can't even get a pistol?
No, pistols are 4.
Pistols are 4. Pistols and
so-
revolvers.
I vote for musket then.
Okay. Yeah, something that can go vaguely long range, yeah.
God, we should
A musket does the same amount of damage as a rifle. It's just a little bit shorter range and it's not quite as big of a bonus. Essentially a less accurate rifle.
Okay. I'm down for that.
So I'll just put weapon musket. I assume you'll find the details, Savannah, if he ever has to shoot anything.
Yeah, I have them right here. I'll just paste them in. All I really need is the damage and the bonus. Okay. Okay. That's your guard.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Even more eye candy in the Citadel. Look at that.
But no one's as hot as Jimothy.
No one is as hot as Timothy.
That's the important stuff. All right.
That he's hot? Yes, correct.
That he's hot. Yeah, he's super hot and he has a gun. All right. So that's done. So that is 5 development points for him, which I think leaves you guys with 3. So
I feel like, do we bank that? I don't think there's really anything else. We could get, I think it was like, we could get a stable boy, but we don't have a stable yet, so.
Yeah, I have a horse witness. Where does their horse live? Danny, do you have a stable at home?
No, the horse has their own room. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah,
cuddles up
Zozer
in a
has
king size
bed.
4-poster.
Yeah.
Zozer has a bed. I like that idea. Okay. Any other development business or advancement business
Well,
that we need to talk about?
I got a pet.
You got a pet?
I got a pet because last time, remember, I took the skill pet. You have a pet that you can use once per session to gain +1 to a test of your choice in a situation where your pet is clearly of use.
Amazing.
I forgot. What kind of pet do you have?
I've decided it's gonna be like a marten, like a little ferret,
Oh,
like a forest wood marten.
I love it.
God.
Yeah.
What's their name?
Spike.
Spike?
That's cute. I love it.
Amazing.
Yep. And I decided that after her romp with the fairies in the woods, it just came home with her in like her pocket.
Aw. Just found a marten in your pocket?
Yeah.
Is that Martin in your pocket, or did you just see some fairies?
All right. Anybody else take anything particularly interesting?
No, nothing interesting happened to Danny.
No, Danny does
Absolutely
have a new
nothing.
talent, but I'm going to leave it up to Danny whether or not they share that with the team. Speaking of which, let me do a little bit of a recap. So, last time on Thursday's Children, Alina was found. Yay. Very good. No worse for wear. The society navigated the fairy circle and managed to convince them to let Alina leave, though not without a bad trip for her, caused by some fairy dust. It's very entertaining for me personally. Once reunited, the crew put their plan for the Ash Tree Wives into action. They spoke with Detective Viktorsky, wrote to a successful friend of Tilda's, and then ultimately returned to the Ash Tree Wives. They convinced them to move from their current home in the forests near Grimsey to some lands in the north, in which Danny so graciously let us know were now unoccupied due to wildfires that spread through the area a few years ago, but are now regrowing healthily. Once safely home, finally, however, they discovered another threat, a pointed spike made of ash wood driven into the Citadel's front door, serving as a reminder that not all the Ash Tree Wives were on board with their plan. But once it was removed, though they were a bit concerned, the group was finally able to stop and take a breath and get some sleep. Some shenanigans were had, including Alina teaching herself how to make tea without Villy's help to varying degrees of success, I would say. And a nice breakfast with the team where everyone mostly decided to drink coffee. That has nothing to do with who made the tea at all. But ultimately, we left off with Danni, who, after returning home after a day of work at the clinic, began to feel finally the effects of the serum they had injected themselves with, and under the light of the full moon began some sort of transformation. So, Danni, we left off with you feeling strange and a bit woozy, and as the clouds sort of part above you, revealing the lights of the full moon shining down into the street, you have leaned against a wall with one arm to get your balance back, and you see the arm in front of you start to elongate, your hand start to grow larger, your fingers larger, and claws starting to protrude from the ends of your fingers. Your vision going fuzzy. What do you do?
I think panicking, but trying to maintain some semblance of rational thought, realizes that something is wrong. Starts thinking about how they might be able to stop this. I think begins to reach down to like their medical bag to grab a syringe to maybe inject themselves with maybe a low dose of morphine or something to like calm them down or maybe render themselves unconscious. But I think as they do, their new fingers and everything get in the way, and one of the syringes just like shatters in their hand as they start to lose control.
Okay, the glass of the syringe shatters in your hand. The needle falling to the ground as your shoulders and your back start to crack, and you feel your spine sort of elongating, and this sort of very strange, sort of painful. It's not the sort of unbearable like screaming pain that maybe sometimes it is, but you can sort of hear sort of like bone grinding as like your jaw shifts, and you see it sort of start to elongate in front of you as you grow taller and longer.
So if they're about to black out, I think their last thought is thinking to the Citadel, thinking about the others, wondering what they're gonna do, how they might be able to help, and I think their last thought is of Tilda before everything just goes black.
Okay, Danni, you black out. Tilda.
Yes,
It is the middle of the night. Very late. The full moon high in the sky. And you're at home.
Yeah, the apartment.
I assume. At your
Yep.
apartment.
Beatrice on the bed, probably still working on various projects at her little tiny writing desk at her apartment.
You are startled by, I think, a growl from the bed as Beatrice has sort of perked up, ears sort of back flat as she looks out the window of your apartment. Are you on the ground floor?
Yeah.
This is not like a tall building. Okay, she looks out the window and starts to growl, and then you hear this as she starts to stand and sort of alert that there is something there. You hear this terrible sort of squealing noise, like of something sharp being dragged down the glass of the window outside your apartment.
Grab my pistol. Like, do one of these to the side. Look out. What the fuck was that?
You do
Pistol?
a mean lean, holding the pistol, and you see sort of silhouetted in the moonlight, close to your window, a tall figure that is sort of put one very large hand against the window and has kind of dragged it down, leaving like a scratch mark in the glass. And as they turn to the side, you can see sort of long, like wolf-like snout. So there's this strange, sort of very tall, kind of lanky, like bipedal canine-like creature outside your window.
Yeah. Maybe it'll go away. Maybe it'll go away. It's fine. It will go away.
You hear the, as you hide, you hear the scratching sound once, twice more, and then it stops.
See if it left.
Yeah, you lean over again, you look out the window, and it appears to have moved on.
Beatrice? Well, now that it's not on me, take the pistol and, probably gonna see if she finds it out there and head toward the Citadel. Like now.
Okay.
Like, throw a robe, get the dog, keep the pistol, grab a lantern, run over to the Citadel.
Okay. You throw on your robe, you grab your dog and your gun, like a good cowboy, and make your way very quickly outside.
Making my way
around
downtown.
the corner. You don't see the creature at first, so go ahead and roll vigilance for me.
Oh boy. Zero successes.
Okay. You don't see whatever it was outside your window. You look around, you don't see it down any of the streets. You don't really see any tracks or anything. No idea where it might have gone. You sort of take one more quick look around, quickly turn and start to make your way toward the Citadel. And as you sort of break into a jog, you get a little ways past your home, and then you step on something hard and you hear a crunch. You look down, and there is like a piece of glass sort of glinting in the moonlight. Take a little bit of a closer look, and you see a pair of sort of wire-framed round glasses with a broken lens that have been left behind in the street.
Oh no. I mean, her conclusion is that Danny just got eaten, so, like, just very carefully, like, tries to, like, fold them up, put them in a pocket of her robe, like, looking around, like, trying to see, like, did they get dragged off somewhere? Like, looking around the area if there's, like, a body or something? Oh my god.
Don't see a body, you don't see drag marks. You don't see any blood.
Danni? Doctor Madsen? Danni! Nothing. Fuck! Keep going toward the Citadel.
You make your way toward the Citadel. Danni, it's been a little bit of time, and you have a couple of times sort of come basically in and out of consciousness, sort of enough to where you're awake for a couple of minutes to kind of direct yourself. Every time you wake, you're still standing. You're somewhere else in the city, as if you've been sort of ambling about trying to figure out where to go. So you find yourself down the way from Tilda's apartment. Sort of make your way over up to the window. There's nobody inside. What would your instinct be to do next?
I don't know if it would be to go back to their lab or to go to the Citadel. I feel like it'd be more ingrained to maybe go to their clinic. Yeah, I think like it's an emergency. Something's wrong. I think maybe like ingrained in Danni is to go to their clinic.
Okay. You turn, sort of lumbering large paw-like feet underneath you, and start to move down the street. It's been a while. You can see that the moon is sort of starting to set now. You are awake long enough, I think, or at least coming in and out long enough to sort of make it back to the clinic and sort of force the door open. But you sort of lose it after that. Tilda, you make it back to the Citadel. It's not that far. It's a few blocks away. What would you like to do? It's like 2 a.m. or something.
First just check some spare rooms to see if, I don't know, maybe this is totally out of character for Danni to just like get super drunk and break their glasses. Who knows? Maybe they just came to she didn't want to make a big deal if they're just lying there somewhere. But obviously not.
So Tilda broke Danny's glasses. Just want to leave that out there.
Not
I made that call assuming Danni had at least one spare pair of glasses.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be irresponsible for a physician to only have one pair of glasses.
It's true.
All right, so yeah, you take a look around, you check the guest rooms, you check the library, check maybe the kitchen, maybe they're in there having a spot of tea, but you do not find Danni anywhere.
Fuck. Go to Alina's room.
Okay. Knock, Alina, there's a knock at your door.
Who is it?
It's Tilda. We have a problem.
Okay. She comes to the door.
Can you find the doctor? Could you do something and find them?
Isn't he at home?
I don't. I found these in the street shortly after something dog-like came scratching at my window.
Those could be anyone's glasses.
I may be overreacting. Could you please find them?
All right. Suppose I will use my crystal ball.
Okay. Go ahead and roll observation.
1. 1 success.
Okay. So you're trying to locate Danni.
Mhm.
The crystal ball sort of fills with smoke, and as you look into it, it sort of pulses with a little bit of light, and a couple of images start to appear inside. You first kind of see a like a white orb that's sort of hanging in the smoke or in the mist, and as it comes into focus, it looks like the moon. And then the image sort of almost like zooms out and away a little bit, and you kind of see the moon hanging over several buildings that you know exist in Grimsey somewhere. And as that image starts to fade, you start to see the like the front facade is the word I was trying to come up with and couldn't get there. The facade of one of the buildings, one particular building, start to stand out to you, and as the image starts, it kind of like comes in and out of focus for a little bit, but I think you've been there enough times, you probably recognize it after a moment as the moon kind of moves over it as Danni's clinic.
Well, they seem to be at their clinic.
Right. All right. Well, at the very least, going to go admonish them for working too late and breaking their own glasses, so good night.
Well, shall I come with
Right.
you?
If you'd like. Beatrice, come on.
Okay. She follows.
All right, Alina, you follow Tilda out of her room. You want to gather any other forces before you go?
Shall we get Villy?
You can. I've got to go.
Oh, okay.
Catch up. See you soon.
All right. Well, Alina's gonna go wake Villy.
Okay. Lily, there's a soft knock. Oh, I guess, I don't know. Do you knock or do you just walk in?
I think she knocks.
Yes?
Well, I'm not sure, but Tilda's worried about the doctor and is going to go check on them, and I don't know, I feel like it's not good to wander around at night because you told me that, and so I thought we'd all go.
Right. Is there a specific reason that they're worried about them?
She didn't say. She found some glasses that kind of look like their glasses, but I said that could be anyone's glasses.
Right. Okay, I'll be out shortly.
Okay.
No, just stay there. It's fine. I'll be fine. All right. Opens the door, closes the door. Yeah? Well, let's go then.
Was someone in there with you?
Are we going or not?
Okay. Let's go.
All right, the two of you, a couple of minutes behind, start to make your way out of the Citadel and down the road to Danni's clinic. Tilda, you get there first minute or two ahead of the other two, and you see that the front door of the clinic, as the moon is sort of starting to set behind the buildings, and the first sort of rays of sunlight are coming up on the other side. You see that the door is sort of hanging open.
Pistol. Slowly head inside.
You head inside. It is dark, a little bit of light sort of spilling in from outside. You make your way through the reception area and through the second door, which has also been sort of pushed open and left kind of hanging. Alina and Villy, you arrive shortly behind Tilda and see her sort of making her way around the corner and back to where Danny's exam rooms are. You continue
Follows
inside.
quietly.
Yeah. You both follow quietly. Tilda, gun drawn. You make your way. One of the doors, again, has been pushed open. And you see, it looks like a medical cart to the side, sort of where like supplies and different things would be kept. It looks like the drawers have been pulled out and things have been rifled through, and there are all kinds of bandages and syringes and needles and things have been sort of tossed about. A second drawer has been sort of fully pulled out, and you can see like several bundles of dried herbs that would be, you know, used for like wound packing or made into like different concoctions and things like that have been sort of tossed about, leaves and shit all over the place. And in the back of the room, you see a large figure laying on its side, sort of on like an exam table, breathing heavily, and the light sort of spilling into the window. You can see that it is vaguely shaped like the thing that was outside your window, sort of wolf-like, but it looks almost like it is like shrinking before your eyes. Like its limbs are getting shorter. Its snout is sort of starting to recede a little bit.
Billy will hold up a hand for everyone to just wait. She'll move forward, thinking about how upset she's going to be if this is her friend that she told to leave. But she'll see if there's any... Are there any, like, restraints on this table? It wouldn't make sense to me because they're usually dead people.
Well, no, this is a doctor's office.
This is a
okay.
clinic, yeah. I don't think there'd be any restraints on...
I don't think so.
There might be restraints. Okay. It's like somewhere else in the office that you could like fasten to the table or something, but I don't think they'd be kept on the table themselves.
Yeah.
Right. Boy, she's just gonna approach cautiously.
Okay. You signal for everyone to wait. You approach cautiously, and as the rays of dawn start to stream in through the window, the creature continues to sort of contort and like shrink in on itself, until you recognize the human, now once again lying on the table, snoring softly, dead asleep. The black-haired, now one pair of glasses less, Dr. Danny Madsen, laying in front of you.
How naked are they?
I was imagining most of the clothes still stay on because Danny in the uniform is still pretty thin.
Still pretty like lanky, so they're like probably a little ripped, maybe a little stretched out. But yeah, we're not like hulking out here.
Good. Don't need to see my boss like that. Billy is going to like look down at them, look to the rest of the group, look back. I think it's the doctor. Well, it is the doctor.
We need to clean this place up. Viktorski is looking for a reason to mess with the doctor right now. We need to clean this place up.
Right. Billy's gonna check their hands and mouth and make sure that there's no, like, blood or anything on them.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Should we wake them?
I would assume they've had quite a night. So no. Why don't we clean up, maybe put out a sign that they'll be closed for the day? And go from there.
All right. Let's get to work then. Show them where all those cleaning supplies are.
Okay. The three of you set about cleaning up, straightening up, cleaning up broken glass, that kind of thing, trying to set the doors right, at least to where the front door will close. Again, probably going to have to replace the latch on that one. Takes you a little bit of time, but as the sun rises, you'd put out a sign saying the doctor is out of the office for the day, and you get the place cleaned up. Xena?
I will carry the doctor to bed.
It's
they don't wake up.
daylight now. Probably don't want to carry them around in your arms in the middle of the day through town.
Well, they're attached, right, to the house? The clinic?
It's
No,
Down the
okay.
street.
Down the street.
Oh, okay. Then I will not. I will grab a blanket for those patients who get really cold. I know them. I am them.
I am
will-
them.
I am them.
I will cover the doctor and write a note. Place it next to them on the table.
Okay. What are the rest of you gonna do?
Finish cleaning.
Are we going to talk about how the doctor transformed from something into the doctor again?
I feel like we might save some time and wait until they're awake so that we can all have that conversation.
All right. If you think that makes sense.
At this point, I think all we can do is really speculate. Be good to get
Yes.
the information straight from the horse's mouth or the wolf's mouth, the dog's mouth, whatever it may be.
Should we go back to the sigil then?
I'll stay here till they awake and then march them immediately toward the citadel as soon as they are ready.
Are you sure that I shouldn't stay? Just because in case they wake up and turn back into that thing.
I'm going to make a wild assumption that that's the sort of thing that only happens at night.
Right.
The doctor like this points to them like curled up under a blanket snoring. I can handle.
All right. Elena, back to a house. Are you looking for some breakfast?
Yes, that sounds nice.
I was thinking sausage and eggs.
Do you like that?
Okay. So two of you head back to the Citadel. Tilda, you stay at the clinic and wait for Danni to awake. It takes a little while. They sleep for probably a couple more hours. And eventually Danni starts to stir from your place where you fell asleep on the exam table. There is a note left beside you, and Tilda.
Probably has her back turned, is like attempting. Is this chamomile? Oh, bloody hell. Just like parsing through random shit that fell on the floor.
My head.
I'd be more concerned with your ass right now.
What are you doing here? What?
Shouldn't I be asking you the same question? Do you remember how you even got here?
I thought it was a dream.
No, I don't think it was a dream for the three of the rest of us to watch you turn from some sort of canine creature back into yourself. No, I think that was quite real.
You said a canine. Can you describe it? It's the form of the creature. I need to understand exactly what happened.
I just told you you turned from some sort of animalistic creature back into yourself, and your main concern is what kind of animalistic creature?
Yes, well, the experiment I was conducting was a bit of a shot in the dark, so I'm still trying to figure out...
You did this to yourself.
In a sense, yes. I didn't hurt anyone, did I?
Well, at the very least, you hurt your own business because you broke every door in here, including the front one, to get yourself inside. We've closed for you for the day and cleaned up the massive mess that you made.
Right. I remember that part, at least.
I believe you also scared the ever-loving bloody hell out of me by arriving outside of my home and scratching upon my window like a dog waiting to be let in.
Right. I apologize for that. I didn't expect this to happen this way.
You were experimenting upon yourself. What did you expect to happen?
I don't know. Not this.
You told me you had several aspirations, and then you were not sure that you would be able to achieve all of them in your short life. I believe you now, because apparently you're just trying to shorten it even more day by day.
There's no evidence. I mean, everyone is fine. I'm perfectly healthy, it seems. I'll conduct a thorough examination and understand what happened. At least that I know now that I do understand how to control this better.
Are you hearing yourself? Do you have a spare change of clothes here?
Yes, in my office.
I suggest you put it on. We are going to the Citadel to discuss this as a full group.
Would you do me the small favor of retrieving my spare spectacles from my desk drawer? I seem to have lost mine.
Pulls them out of her pocket.
Did I break those?
They were lying in the street.
Right. The spare will do then. Thank you.
Gets them.
Danni will get dressed and kind of pause for a second and move over to the drawers where they've put everything back. I think there's a moment where they go through and they see everything's not where it's supposed to be, and they consider saying something, but they don't. And then they find another small packet of dried herbs. Looks like a bundle of purple flowers, and tucks those into their pocket. Right. To the Citadel, then?
Yes.
Have the others been... Were they here?
Yes.
Well, at least everybody is aware of the situation, then.
Oh, I would say so. Billy was concerned she should stay in case you wake up and change again.
Right. Well, I'll need to do more research on that.
We shall be doing more research on that, Doctor. As apparently, you cannot be trusted with research without being tempted to do it upon yourself.
Well, what would you expect me to do? It would be more unethical for me to conduct unknown experiments on anyone else.
I really don't know how to continue this conversation with you. I feel like I am going mad. Let's go.
Right.
She is still in her night with as much dignity as possible. Is marching through the morning. Back to the Citadel.
Stop by your apartment first so you can change.
You shall wait outside.
Yes.
Turns her nose in the air, just turns in the opposite direction to go back toward her apartment so she can change.
All right.
Danni waits outside, but also like inspecting the window to see like the scratches and stuff to get like measurements.
Tilda, you go into your bedroom to start to change, and then you hear a slight tapping as Danni is standing outside your bedroom window, sort of very
not looking through it all, not
inspecting.
even thinking about it, just like.
But definitely just sort of inspecting with their magnifying glass the scratches on the window.
Pulls her, everything closed, marches up to the window.
Right.
Tries to like close the little shearlings as best as she can. Gets dressed.
Get dressed, comb your hair back, and the two of you and Beatrice, I assume.
Oh yes.
Head back to the Citadel to find Billy and Alina finishing up breakfast. Billy and Alina, is there anything you would like to do in the couple of hours that you are alone?
Not really.
Okay. All right, so you finished up breakfast, and Tilda and Beatrice and the doctor make their way into the Citadel, so all of you can regroup.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Doctor. How's your head?
Improved over time.
Good to hear.
So, is there anything like you to be telling us?
Nothing that I'm sure you haven't already understood on your own at this point. My experiment did not go exactly as I planned, and I apologize for any disturbance that I might have caused.
How did you plan it?
There wasn't much of a plan, to be honest with you. But sorry, I can't keep from laughing. I had good reason, well, a theory that I was following through on, given my interactions with Mr. Nordahl a few days prior. He had mentioned some sort of his theories on consuming the blood of Vaesen to gain some sort of benefit in hunting them or something along those lines, and I wanted to attempt the theory for myself.
You consumed Vaesen blood?
Oh, no. No, I injected myself with a decoction that I derived from Max Nordahl's own blood.
That doesn't seem very smart.
Well, it worked.
Did it do what you expected?
Not exactly.
So it didn't work.
Well, I'd call it a mixed success. But the good news is that because I was able to maintain some amount of consciousness during the event, and I was able to identify an herb that was able to help me regain control during the time I had transformed. So I believe by experimenting with that further, I should be able to gain more control over the effects of this experiment.
So you don't want to reverse the effects?
Not at this time, I don't believe. There's still more research that I could do into the benefits of this form.
And if you kill someone?
Well, I don't see why I would do that.
Well, not on purpose.
Well, it's even more imperative that I understand the nature of this transformation and control it. But I believe, based on my theory and the proof I had last night, that a compound derived from the herb that is colloquially referred to as wolfsbane should be able to help me control the effects of this transformation.
Well, you worried Tilda an awful lot, so I hope you apologize to her.
Is Tilda still in the room?
She's just sitting there, like, just the eyebrows this way, like red-faced emoji. That's just Tilda's face right now. She hasn't said anything this entire time other than, "You drank Vaesen blood? Are you fucking kidding me?" Otherwise, she has been very silent.
If you address her directly, steam might start coming out of her ears.
Yeah.
Well, as I said before, I am deeply apologetic for the disruption and the fright that I caused to all of you, especially you, Tilda, for my disturbance to your rest.
Tilda gets up and walks out.
Was that not adequate, do you think?
Well, I don't think she's upset that you disturbed her rest and is more upset because she thought you were dead.
Why would she think I was dead?
She found your glasses and they were all broken.
She saw a creature walking through the streets.
That seems like a leap in logic. I don't rightly understand why that is my doing.
Well, some people have concerns for others' well-being, and they're worried about what they're doing and where they are. And when something happens where there's a circumstance that could be dangerous, they get more concerned. It's called empathy.
Yes, I understand the basic premise of that. I'm not completely devoid of emotion.
And you shouldn't be faulting her just because she has a lot of it.
I will speak with her further then.
Well, from my experience, it's best to show you're sorry through actions rather than words, so I don't think talking to her much more would really help.
Especially not right now.
Well, then I suppose the best thing I could do would be to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will begin my research immediately.
Why don't you run by us what you intend to do?
Well, as I said, I had success last night in gaining control of the effects through consuming this. It was far more potent than I expected, so I need to dilute its effects further so that I still maintain consciousness upon consuming it. So, I will need to run tests on that.
You know what would be a good idea, I think. And I don't know anything about science, of course, but it might be good to have someone there as a person to observe and to maybe take notes, or if something goes wrong, they can help you handle the situation.
Any volunteers?
No, why don't I handle it, just in case?
Well, can I help?
I don't see why not. You're both already aware of the situation. I just wish not to get my staff at the clinic involved in this. It might be difficult to explain.
Well, do you want to be doing them here?
I don't see why not. We have adequate facilities on site.
I think that's a good idea.
Well, should we begin post-haste then?
Well, not before you have your breakfast.
Right. A light breakfast. My stomach is fairly unsettled right now.
Of course. Only things good for your stomach. Blood sausage, pork sausage, eggs. I'm having Brenner tonight, okay, guys? That's all I'm thinking about right now.
Danny's stomach is upset as a side effect from all the empathy. So you have breakfast, and the three of you set to work. Tilda.
Oh, Tilda went immediately to the library.
I figured. You had your glasses on.
Yeah. Very angrily started ripping out books, lycanthropy, wolfsbane properties, hellhounds, anything vaguely related to this topic, set them out and just started reading. Also, she meant to do something about warding, like the Citadel, like figuring that out.
Ah, yes.
That had been earlier the day before.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. But now she's got to look at warding and see if there's a way to like take one out, because we can't exactly go about warding the doctor from the Citadel. So now she's just
Selective
like muttering to
warding.
herself. Exactly. Now she's just muttering to herself, like, it was already going to be difficult enough, but now we have to take something out. So she's just muttering
Is that the right one?
angrily. Yeah, exactly. Angrily muttering to herself in the library.
Okay. Roll for. We are 1 week away from this game, and I barely remember what it's called.
Investigation?
Oh, I think investigation. Well, pop-up's not coming up. Oh, there we go. Or
Learning?
oh, no.
Or learning?
Learning is like when you need to know something about what is in front of you. Establishing connections through logic and knowledge. Let's do learning
Okay.
for this, because you already have some amount of information, and I think you're looking for the right bit to sort of put everything together.
Cool.
I'm also just completely making this up.
Excellent. 1 success.
Okay. So what? You're looking at a lot of stuff. What? If you had to pick like one, like specifically like one thing that Tilda could find that would either set her at ease or make her feel like she's accomplished something. What one specific thing that you are looking for? Because there's lots of stuff you could find.
A selective ward. She was looking for just like a word in
Selective
general.
ward.
A selective ward.
Okay. Yeah, so you take the notes that you already have about sort of warding glyphs and things like that, and you sort of add that to some current research that you're doing about lycanthropy specifically, because I think at this point it's one of the most popular myths and everything, and you've seen it. I think you all can sort of make the assumption that's what's. I'm not going to be like, and you've never heard of a werewolf before. Like that's ridiculous.
They're kind of in mode at this point in time right now.
Yeah,
Werewolves
well,
and then vampires later, and yeah.
They're right there in the Vaesen book as being popular mythology. So I'm going to say you've heard of the things. And also you sort of saw the canine transformation. So you take sort of some of the research you got from that and put it all together. And you think you've come up with sort of the right combination of runes that will keep out most Vaesen, but let anything that is only of the lichen brand through. So you could have found a door that only humans and lycanthropes can go through. Congratulations.
Cool.
It always ends up this way. In any game we play that has monsters, it's always like, I want to ward against everything but demons. Everything
Demons
but
and angels.
angels. Everything but werewolves. You millennials and your warding spells. All right. You've got the rune set. It's going to be a matter of basically putting enough of them in places around the Citadel where they can't be messed with to ward the place. So they'll cover essentially like a certain area. Put them directly on a door. It'll cover that door.
Yeah, inside of like a doorway, so they can't be messed with on the outside. They can't come in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You want to work on this now?
Oh yeah. In fact, when the three of them troop into the library, she's trooping out with like parchment. Alina, could I borrow you?
Yes.
We're going to need to put these on all of the doorways.
All right. What are they?
odds against most Basin.
Oh. Sure.
Wonderful. Thank you. Troops out.
So Alina is promptly kidnapped, as everyone needs her help at the same time. So Tilda and Alina, you make your way around the citadel to the door frames and the windowsills and the holes in the ceilings of unused rooms that have yet to be co-opted for something else, and start to inscribe runes around the place. Is there anything specific you two want to do, or just have at it?
That's it mainly. Tilda is not very talkative.
Alina keeps trying to talk to her.
Of course she does.
Anything specific you want to talk about?
I think the doctor feels very badly about worrying you.
I'm sure.
And, they try super hard to make it up to you. Maybe don't drag it on for too long. I haven't really had to forgive someone before, so I'm not entirely sure how it works.
That is very sweet of you, Alina. Does anyone else understand how brazenly dangerous this whole thing was?
Oh, it was very stupid.
Ugh! Moves on to the next doorway.
Are you upset because it was stupid, or are you upset because you thought they were dead?
Frankly, both.
That makes sense. Well, maybe you can get back at them.
What?
I mean, you thought that they were dead, so maybe you can pull a prank of some sort.
What?
Oh no, is that not how this works?
Not in the last 15 years or so, in my experience. No, I don't wish to terrify them. I just wish they would not be so bloody stubborn.
Well, you're both a little stubborn, so...
I am not stubborn.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I am a little sleep deprived and still very upset by the evening's events.
That's understandable.
Perhaps I can be slightly bullheaded sometimes.
But that's what I like about you.
I'm glad someone does.
I've read some of your articles. They're very interesting.
You've read my pieces?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Thank you.
I think some of your ideas are very interesting.
Oh. Well, if you'd ever like to discuss them, please feel free to let me know.
I will. Now, these wards, they keep out all Vaesen?
That was the idea until we discovered this morning that we may have one in our midst. So I found an addition that would allow for certain types, namely lycanthropes.
So only lycanthropes can be in the Citadel then?
At present, yes, once these are accomplished.
Right.
Why?
Oh, no reason. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Do you have reason to believe that someone among our staff is a Vaesen?
No.
Oh, all right. I would believe it of Jimothy. Honestly, I would.
That makes sense. Where did you see how to make additions to the wards to allow for certain kind of Jason? Is it in a book?
It was a bit of a couple of things. It was, she'll rattle off the book, just very vaguely even paying attention at this point, still putting stuff up. There were 2 of them in the library. These 2, blah, blah, blah.
Alina's gonna incorrectly copy down her words.
Okay. So the ones that you inscribe, you put sort of small imperfections
Yes.
in? Okay. Sid, I'm not going to have you roll because I don't, unless you have a good argument for it. I don't think Tilda's paying attention.
Absolutely not. She's angry, she's pissed, and she has no reason to believe that she would do that. So no, absolutely not.
You just sort of like leaving off, because you're pretty familiar with runes and stuff at this point, at least at a cursory glance. Yeah, I guess how deep do you want to get into it? You want to do them like mostly correct, but just so like at a glance they look right, but just sort of leaving off little bits. Okay, little accents and things, just enough, so maybe one of them is incorrect and they don't quite hold like they should.
Yes.
Okay.
This won't come back to bite us in the ass at all.
None of you have ever experienced consequences in one of my games. Okay. Yeah. So the 2 of you go around, Tilda putting up warding against everything but lichens, and Alina putting up some pretty weak wards that might hold certain things, but probably aren't going to hold up under scrutiny. Anything else?
Not at present.
No.
Okay. Danni and Villy. Science time.
Science time.
Science time. What do you do? I was gonna start narrating something and I was like, I have no idea.
I think just finding a safe part of the Citadel, somewhere interior, no windows, where Danni is going to test out a couple of wolfsbane concoctions to see if there's any to see if they have like the same effect that the herb did on its own, but less potent, so that they can still have some control.
Okay. I'll say interior. Here we go. You make your way down stairs to the underground level of the Citadel, which has yet to be cleared out. So the dungeon and everything that was down there is currently non-functioning, but there are a couple of rooms down there that you can sort of clear things out of the way. You're underground, there's no windows, you're sort of blocked in, and you do Some tests. How is Villy assisting?
I don't know what. Billy doesn't know how to science. What is she doing?
You're the one that suggested that she observe.
I'm there to make sure that you don't kill anybody.
Okay. I also like the idea of a non-functioning dungeon, being like very comfortable, having some couches, like being way more comfortable than a dungeon should be.
It's actually a rompus room right now. We have to like
It's a
clear
bonus
out
room.
like, you know, the PS5 and the sectional couch before we turn it into an actual dungeon.
Okay, so I'll say you're actually in one of the not in one of the cells because they'd be small, but in sort of like sort of like a main room, like off the dungeon where like guards and stuff would exist, essentially like a break room, and a lot of the like old furniture from the Citadel had been taken and like shoved into this room because they didn't know what to do with it, didn't know how to store it, so there's just like it's just full of couches. This is a couch room.
Dungeon is just a functioning rec room.
And there's a slightly wobbly pool table in one corner.
The two genders, rec room and dungeon.
Dungeon and rec room. Tag yourself. I'm dungeon.
I'm so dungeon.
I expect to hear from the rest of you by the end of this session what your decisions are. You can think about it. I expect a report on my desk no later than 7 p.m. So yeah, you and Billy head down into what's now essentially a big storage room. Billy, you sort of post up to observe, maybe take some notes on the doctor's behalf, if you wish. And Danni, you set about doing some science, mixing some, I guess these are decoctions?
Sure, I couldn't think of the right word.
That's what they would be in The Witcher.
Sure, that's fine.
So that's what I'm gonna call them. Go ahead and roll.
I don't
Let's
have
do
the stats.
roll. This is a stat I'm gonna add into the next game that we play, which is just a catch-all stat for I don't know. And you could just add the correct attribute to it. This is your stat. I guess medicine.
Okay.
Medicine's precision, right?
Yes.
Well, I want you to roll something with logic.
Okay. Well,
Can you roll medicine but with logic?
I can manually do that.
Just like add the dice in.
Sure.
We're switching it around.
If I click this, bonus dice.
Because I don't think this is really a precision thing. I think this is a trial and error kind of logical next steps
Sure.
thing. But I think your medical knowledge is what's influencing those.
Okay.
Jiminy Cricket.
That's 5 successes. I rolled so many 6s.
Okay. Sure.
I not only gain control of my werewolf powers, but I gain control of everyone in the vicinity's werewolf powers.
Get fucking telekinesis.
Oh no! You found out my secret.
Become the werewolf.
I'm
monarch.
the were-king.
You turned me into a werewolf.
Okay, so spend 2 of those for this, because I think otherwise this is a process that's going to take an extremely long time.
Sure.
You can bank the other 3, I guess.
Jesus.
Sometimes I regret letting that be a rule. Not really. I
Listen,
think
you
it's
can
fun.
stop it at any time.
I don't want to. I think it's fun. So yeah, it actually doesn't take you that long. You distill down the wolfsbane, adding in a couple of other herbs, mostly, and some oils, mostly to make it more palatable and to to maybe essentially sit with your body a little bit better, not sort of make you sick or anything like that. You still it down, you give it a couple of tries, and you think you might have the right ratios. How do you test it?
Well, once they've tried the decoction and like it sits better, like I think with the wolfsbane, I mean it's extremely poisonous to most people, but hasn't had that effect on Danni. I think it just made them like very tired, like a sedative. So takes it, waits a moment, notices that doesn't seem to be having the same like sedating effects, and then I think concentrates. It kind of like contemplates the like the sensation previously of the transformation, kind of what triggered it, like how they felt at the time, and I think tries to transform.
Okay. You can do this thing. Chat has redeemed us a +1 die for Danni. So Danni, you have a +1 on your next roll.
Sweet.
And you focus and sort of focus inward on whatever sort of thing is in there. And you feel a familiar sort of pulling sensation on your limbs, and Villy, in front of you, Danni starts to transform. Limbs elongating, sort of stretching out, becoming taller. The snout starting to protrude from their face, sort of ears, with tufts of hair on them growing out, and they turn into the rather lanky form of a bipedal wolf in front of you.
Doctor?
Stalks around for a minute, sniffs at the air, stretches, and then looks over towards Villy and straightens up, puts the glasses back on.
Sort of glasses sitting on the snout a little precariously.
How do you feel?
I think that it worked.
That's good. Don't feel like eating anyone?
No, not currently.
Wonderful.
Feels strange.
I suppose it would.
We should go tell the others immediately.
Tell them what?
Well, that it worked.
Well, why don't we make sure that it works for a little while before we leave this room?
Fine.
Wouldn't want you scaring everyone now.
I'm going to take some notes.
Good idea.
Sits down, tries to take notes, like snaps the pen.
Damn it. I'll have to wait.
All right. Now, why don't you run through some mental problems just to make sure you have all of everything going on in there?
All right.
Starts like listing off like medical conditions and symptoms and treatments and stuff, and just starts rattling those off in still that same like very gravelly canine voice.
Mercury is the treatment for all of them.
Yeah.
Treat all with mercury.
Right.
Occasionally there's an opium in there.
Yeah. But yeah, do you want me to share what the wolf form does since you wrote this?
If you want
Savannah?
to.
It was very good, so I like it a lot. Savannah gave me
Yeah, so I wrote a talent.
Yeah. So it's called wolf form. You can take the form of a large
It's not that creative.
bipedal wolf as a slow action. Once in this form, you must remain that way for the rest of the scene. You lose access to your human form's talents, but gain the following talents instead. So I lose all the talents I had before, but I gain tough as nails. So I get 2 force when fighting unarmed. Danger sense, get to draw an extra card for initiative. And bloodhound, gain +2 vigilance when tracking your prey. But we did decide I can still use gun, as long as big gun.
We had a long discussion about whether or not werewolf could use gun.
We decided yes.
Ultimately landed on as long as it's big gun. There's a whole thought process behind that I don't tweet at me if you want to know.
Yeah, because Danny's still a very scrawny werewolf. Danny's not
Danny's
a big, bulky
real lanky, real tall, but sort of thin. More of a lithe form. All right, so how long do you wait?
I guess, maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah. Do you wait? You don't seem to lose any of your mental faculties or anything like that. And since I think this is probably going to be the end of this scene, eventually you start to revert. It is almost painless at this point under the effects of the wolfbane.
They just tucks in their shirt. So, seems to have worked just fine.
Good. Everything you expected?
Yes. I'll have to make more of the decoction to take every morning, but I believe that as long as I do so, I should maintain control. Should keep an eye out for the full moon, though. That seemed to have had an additional effect on things.
Right. Well, I'm glad it worked.
Yes, me too. Very successful. I must go document my studies after we inform the others.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Billy.
For what?
I don't know, it just seemed like the right thing to say.
Okay.
All right, so the two of you get your things together, head upstairs, and go to inform the other two of your success. I think that is a good place for us to take a break, because we're already halfway through and I can't believe it. Where does the time go? Thanks everybody for hanging out with us so far. We're gonna take a quick break and come back in a few minutes, refresh our drinks ourselves. So get up, stretch, drink some water, all that good stuff. It's going to make you feel better. And we will be back in a quick few minutes to see what happens next. So stick around. We'll see you soon. And welcome back, Internet. Thank you for hanging out with us during our break. We are going to return right where we left off. Danny and Billy have made their way up the stairs. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Apparently something hysterical just happened. Danny
Has
and
nothing
Billy
to do with this. I'm so sorry.
have made their way up the stairs. We're going to reconvene with the entire group, so Danny can report on the success of their experiment at your leisure.
Walks into the library. I believe it worked.
What worked?
Right. Miss Tilda, Alina, I have spent the last hour or two with Villy, and we have successfully created a decoction which I believe should allow me to control these abilities so that nobody will be startled or hurt or go missing again.
Bully for you.
Right. Well, that was it. I'll leave you to whatever you're doing. Leaves.
Danni awkwardly walks out of the room.
It really went pretty well as far as not killing people. I have confidence that they're going to be able to control themselves.
In this matter, I rue the day we run into another interesting vason that they'd like to experiment upon themselves with.
Looks to Alina. Is there anything I can do for you, Miss Tilda?
No, I believe we completed a thorough covering of all of the windows and doors of wardings, so hopefully we won't be dealing with any Ashtree wives within the premises.
Wonderful. It's always a good sign. So we have some free time then.
Suppose so.
Wonderful. Well, I've been wanting to teach you both a little bit how to fight. If you're so inclined. Just some simple hand-to-hand things, in case you get into trouble.
Are we planning on fighting anything?
No, but you never know. We have a very dangerous job, and I might not be there all the time.
I suppose.
My blood's up. Why not?
All right.
Wonderful.
Right.
Take them up to the fighting ring.
Take them up to the ring. I'm gonna have a little bit of a lesson, a little bit of sparring, perhaps. I'm gonna have you guys roll.
Gird your loins, folks!
As if you roll well, there might be something in it for you. Villy, what kind of things are you trying to teach them? Just sort of like basic hand-to-hand?
Yeah, I
combat?
think for Tilda, it will be slightly more force-driven, whereas for Alina, it'll be more like blocking and like movement-based. So if someone comes to punch her, she can like move their momentum down as opposed to like actually being able to punch someone in the face. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Tilda force, not good. Not good at all.
I'm gonna have Tilda, I'm gonna have you roll force. Alina, I'm gonna have you roll agility. Unless either of you object to your fighting styles and would like to encourage Villy to try something else.
Well, Alina actually has a pretty good close combat.
And Tilda has nothing in close combat.
Oh, I forgot close combat was a stat. You should roll that instead.
Tilda has a fairly good ranged combat. She does have 1 in agility. So, if anything, maybe Tilda can be like, I shall be perfectly honest with you. I don't usually intend to use my fists very often. Perhaps I would benefit more from learning how to get out of the way of attacks and get far enough away to utilize things that I am quite a bit better at.
Right. Like getting out of grapples and that sort of thing?
Yes, absolutely. Something to remove myself from the dangerous situation and get far enough away that I can either run or shoot if necessary.
Perfect. Villy grabs her from behind, pulling her arms up behind her. All right, so when you're in a position like this,
Very good. Okay. In light of that, I think. All right. So sparring wise for Tilda, Tilda, you go ahead and roll agility.
That means I get 3 dice instead of 2.
A little more defensive, and we'll do Alina's in a second.
This is gonna be so bad. Let's see. No, it's just outrun or chase down. I have sprinter to add agility, but that's if I'm just trying to run away. Never mind.
Just try to decide how if you could finagle this to be running away, but I don't think so. I think there's more to it than that.
Yeah, 0 successes, which
Okay.
makes sense given 3 dice.
Okay. Yeah, Billy, you some of it sticks. You don't know how much of it is going to stick sort of over time, but with continued lessons and everything, the sort of like raw skill is there. Tilda moves pretty gracefully. It's not bad. There's just no sort of polish to any of it. And I think maybe the footwork of it probably poses a little bit of an issue, but over time, there's something you can work with here, for sure. Tilda, you get a little bit extra. I'm gonna give you an advantage because of Billy's efforts that you can spend on agility rolls.
I suppose
Well,
that's
next
all right.
mystery. Because you spent the time
you
to
did
do it.
wonderfully. Mm-hmm.
So my turn.
Of course. You remember what I've been teaching up to this point, right?
And Alina pulls out her dagger.
Good.
Remember, when using a shiv, make as many entries as possible.
Is that true, Billy?
Oh yes, it depends on the size of the knife, but yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what I remember.
When stabbing, stab as many times as possible. Yeah, so
You're trying to
you
incapacitate someone. The more blood outside of their body, the better.
Billy, 2021. To the 1865, whatever fuck year it is. Hard to tell sometimes. All right, so you get into a little bit of sparring with Alina, and she's really picked up some stuff over the time. Alina, I'm gonna have you roll close combat.
Okay. And I get
As
a
you sort of,
bonus dice because of my dagger.
if Billy lets you fight her with the dagger, then yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, vigorous nodding. So yes.
Okay. 3 successes.
Okay, you only needed 1.
My girl.
So keep the other 2.
Tilda's sweating, just like hair everywhere, just like fucked. And Alina's just great.
I'm going off script with training rules now. These are things that I've had in my back pocket that I'm going to implement because the scene is a good time to implement them. Alina, with your success, you recall sort of the things you've been trained in up to this point very quickly. The sort of basics are pretty much rote to you at this point. You don't have an issue, and Billy's actually able to teach you a little bit more advanced stuff. You are sort of getting the footwork very well. And Alina legitimately gets in a few hits on you that kind of send you into actually defending yourself. Alina, go ahead and add an extra box to your close combat.
Oh. Okay. That was fun.
That's pretty impressive.
This was very good. Have you been practicing or just really good at retaining it?
I've been practicing.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
On who? Jimothy?
No. Just by myself.
Not bad at all.
Well, she was raised by me, so
Well, at the very least, she retained it via osmosis then. Goodness.
whenever you're ready for another lesson, Miss Tilda, I'll be here.
I think I need to recover from the first.
Perhaps we should have some lemonade then.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
I'll get you ready on the porch.
Billy gets some lemonade ready. You cool off and take a break after your training montage. So these are training rules that I've had in my back pocket that I was going to implement and then kind of forgot about and am now remembering. So for this mystery, we're going to try them out. I'm going to allow, if you can think of anything you'd like to do, Villy and Danni as well, if you want to try to do a little bit of training. You narrate what you're doing, you make the roll. If you fail on it, because you took the time to actually do it, it counts as preparation for the mystery. So you get it as an advantage for the mystery, essentially, but it would go away at the end of the mystery. If you actually succeed on the roll, you'll get a boost to that stat permanently. Or skill. What's it called in this one?
I was like, I don't think I can actually up any of my stuff, but I can up agility.
I mean, you can pick literally any skill.
I know, I just said my close combat and my force are at 4 right now. And my physique is at 5, so
yeah,
kind of
pick something you're not good
myself
at
here. But
if you want
muscle.
Or you could just do more muscle, bro.
I only have 2 in agility, so I'm gonna try that.
Okay. What would you like to do?
Obstacle course training?
Obstacle course. Do you guys have an obstacle course?
We could make
have a
one.
woods.
You do have a woods. All right. You also have a dungeon with a bunch of old furniture in it. Now,
That's
just
fair.
imagining Billy. You can say no. It could be whatever you want. But in my brain, Billy has gone into the dungeon and shifted around a bunch of the furniture and essentially playing the floor as lava by herself.
I'm down.
You can also go and run in the woods and things.
Ooh, seeing about the whole Woodwives situation, maybe we would suggest otherwise. Yeah. Run around
Hard
the woods
mode.
with pissed Woodwives sounds a little...
No better training than the real thing, am I right? That's bad advice. Follow
Don't
that.
do this.
All right. Yeah, so Billy, go ahead and roll agility. And anything that you perhaps have that might add to that. I don't actually know what you have. I'm not looking at your sheet.
Can I be training with Christopher?
Does he give you a bonus?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
When trying to chase down or outrun someone, you get +2.
Ah, interesting.
You have
So trying
Sprinter
to
with
move,
me too, yeah.
trying to move through the course fast enough to catch him.
Mm-hmm. Or to beat him, just outright.
He did.
All right.
There's a joke in there that I'm not going to make. Yes.
Okay. I rolled 9 dice and I got 1 success.
Well, you've got a success. So, you do some training, some leaping, some climbing, some bounding, running, jumping, climbing trees, putting on makeup while you're up there. If you get that reference, tweet me, please. I'm so old. And you go for a run, essentially a sprint, sprinting contest in the woods. Christopher puts up a fight, but ultimately you end up outpacing him, sort of the endurance training you've been doing. over time, coupled with the training you've been doing to make yourself a little bit more agile. You're able to sort of bound around trees and everything faster than you had before. So you'd make it through. Add a tick to your agility skill.
Baller.
Danny?
The only thing I was thinking for Danny is maybe upping their ranged combat. Maybe doing some shooting practice in the shooting range that we have.
You do have a shooting range. You do have a groundskeeper who's very good with guns, apparently, because he lets everybody have better guns. So you could enlist the help of what was that fool's name? Stefan?
Sure.
Stefan, yeah, Stefan.
Stefan?
Yeah, I think Stefan Berwin. Right.
My greatest
I knew it was
creation.
a reference.
Yeah, it was.
Couldn't
so
remember
yeah,
exactly how it played out.
You said the
enlist the
max
help of Stefan?
yeah, because the max we could get anything up to is 3, 4 with training.
No, there's not a max of training. You can the maximum for your stats and stuff is for character creation. The max that is on your sheet is the max that exists. I think it's 5 for everything.
I didn't remember if you had said something about like if we were training, we could only
No.
improve something. Okay, because the only other thing is improving Danny's lying.
No, I don't care about people getting overpowered.
Danny walking around practicing lying to people for a few days. That wouldn't probably help with anything that has gone
It's up to
on.
you.
No, I'm gonna do range combat. I think that'll be more.
Okay. Range combat. So you enlist the help of Stefan. You spend some time, more time than you are used to, I'm sure, outside in the courtyard with Stefan, that all of you had turned into your shooting range, practicing with the different weapons that are available to you, which is now up to level availability 4. Okay, so that's the highest one for weapons, I think. So
there is 5.
Is there 5?
Cannon.
I don't read the book. Oh, a cannon. Well, you don't have a cannon, but you do have available to you everything from like bows and arrows, crossbows, pistols, all the way up through like legit like hunting rifles and revolvers.
I think Danny actually spends a lot of the time like trying to understand the mechanics of the weapons too, like disassembling the rifles and pistols and stuff as well, and like wants to understand like the physics and the science behind how these things work, but also spending a significant amount of time practicing with them too.
Okay.
So ranged combat?
Yeah, I'm debating if you get to roll that with logic though.
It's up to you. I also have 3 successes banked right now, so.
Yeah, you just roll range combat. Because I think you do still need sort of the basic skill set.
2 successes.
Okay, so bank one of those, I guess. You better roll a lot in the next 45 minutes. As if that's not up to me.
Oh, wait, I should have had one more die on this too, shouldn't I?
Go ahead. I don't know.
That's a 1.
Read.
Okay. Well, because I got the +1 from the chat on my next roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2 successes. So use 1, keep 1, add that to your ranged combat.
Cool. I'm at a 3.
All right. So, a couple of other things y'all wanted to do. You spend some time preparing, doing some real legit training around the Citadel, which you really haven't done yet, and you come out better for it on the other side. Most of you for the long term. Tilda, your skills will at least stick around for the next week or so. Just enough time to do another mystery. Quickly, Alina, in your downtime, you wanted to spend some time in the library.
Yes, I want to find the books that Tilda had been reading about the wards.
Tilda, you did tell her sort of which books you were looking through, right?
Oh yeah, told her the exact ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you don't have to roll for that. Then you sort of recall at least vaguely, the titles that Tilda gave you, the section they were in. You go and pull out a couple of books about rune magic and different combinations, a couple of different books and journals that sort of detail information about different Vaesen, things like that. You find the journals that Tilda had been reading by Carl Linnaeus, who is sort of the foremost society. I can't think of the word I'm trying to say. You know, the one that writes everything down.
Secretary.
So secretary works. He did a ton. He journaled everything with his time, during his time with the society. So you find those writings and sort of see, you know, the lines that Tilda drew, sort of put everything together, make those connections to figure out the warding runes.
Okay. And Alina's gonna scribble some stuff down and then start going room to room and altering the runes and fixing up the ones that she did not complete.
Okay. So you look for the information on the particular Vaesen that you need. Scribble down essentially an altered version of what Tilda showed you and what Tilda had done, and you start to make your way around the castle, changing Tilda's work.
Mm-hmm.
So the runes are still there. They've just been slightly altered.
Yep.
Easy enough to do. I guess the only question is, does anyone see you doing it? Do you try to hide it?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna have everyone else roll vigilance.
Would we... Is it unusual that she is walking around from room to room, though? I mean, this just seems like normal Alina behavior. Like, I don't know if it's anything out of the ordinary.
If you think that Tilda wouldn't care, you can opt out of rolling.
I think I might, honestly. I don't think I don't even think she would think anything weird about it.
She might be trying a new method of making tea.
Mm.
Danny, what do you think? Because I'm positive Billy's paying attention.
Yeah, I also don't. Villy got a success, so I think I will leave that to Villy.
Did she?
Okay. Because I was grappling also with what Danny would fucking care at all.
This is just her MO. She just like wanders from room to room sometimes, and like maybe she'll just be looking at you for a while, then she wanders away. Like,
Yeah. So Villy, you notice. I don't think there's anything major, like particularly out of the ordinary about it, except that maybe she's carrying around like more like some notes and things. But I don't know how often Alina does that. So, but you do notice Alina is particularly active, sort of making her way around the Citadel, going into different rooms, coming out, checking her notes, that kind of thing. Whether or not you'd be concerned about that is up to you.
I think maybe it's just, is there anything I can help you with?
No.
All right.
Oh, could you get me some juice?
Perfect, any kind?
No.
All right. I'll make the choice then. Gives my job a little excitement. I'll go get her juice.
What kind of juice do you get?
Apple.
Apple. Good sweet apple juice. All right. Billy brings you some apple juice, and you, Alina, continue.
Yep.
along your work. It takes you a little bit of time. It's a big place. You guys did a lot of work before, but you sort of make your way methodically, room to room, until you finally make it to the big front entrance, and you open the door and sort of make the adjustments you need to make to the rules, shut it behind you. And you've edited all of the protection runes successfully.
Cool.
Y'all gotta stop letting Morgan get away with so much shit.
Why would I question anything this girl does?
I regret leaving this to Billy. I made a mistake.
For real?
Literally, she is my boss.
Yeah.
She's also like 17.
And
19.
does stuff like this on the regular.
19.
I mean, that was just my thing. Like, I'm sorry. Are we seriously going to start questioning her just wandering aimlessly around now?
Also
I
a good
mean,
point. Once one of us tries to walk through a door and we can't, we'll deal with it.
Yeah.
What was the Miss Bourne quote I posted the other day? No teenage girl is stable.
Yeah, that fits pretty well.
amazing.
Wonderful, incredible, truly good chat. It's balanced out by y'all are hysterical. Okay, so the only other thing that we talked about sort of happening during downtime is you all have noticed, and whether you do anything with this is up to you, just a little bit of atmosphere. There has been a little bit more atmosphere in the Citadel lately, as over the last, I'll say it's been like a week of training and doing things, because that arbitrary number seems right. You've noticed over the past week or so, Tilda has sort of taken to skillfully, because you all have heard her play at this point, she's been trained in the piano, has taken to, she's sort of cleaned up, I'll say, a grand piano that was left behind in one of the entertaining rooms in the Citadel. It's been sort of cleaned up and tuned and all that, and there has been a variety of piano music making its way through the Citadel as Tilda has taken to playing and practicing.
She'll like play something and then you won't hear something for a couple of minutes. And then she'll play something else that sounds kind of similar, but different.
Can Danni butt in?
Of course.
Composing.
Fingers slam onto the keys. Trying?
Apologies, I will leave you to your practice then.
No. It's fine. Yes, composing.
I'm not terribly musically inclined, but if you should need any assistance, I will be in the vicinity.
Tell me this. What difference do you hear between this? She'll play out like a short snippet. Definitely in a minor key. Very minor. The minorest of minors. And this. And she'll play a snippet of what Danni will probably recognize as the tune that they had worked on at the island.
Well, I certainly recognize the second composition. The first is unfamiliar to me, though quite melancholy.
For the same. It's the exact same piece, but simply 2 modes down.
Huh.
Now watch this. She'll play the original piece. But then, and she plays like the lightest of like very major, like almost sappy tunes.
I assume that it was also the same composition.
Yes, but in the highest mode, in the first, it's rather astounding actually. It's an extremely simple piece of music, but it takes so well to literally any mode that you place it in. Quite honestly, it's almost made for experimentation.
I sense that you're deriving a point from this.
No. Just that, well, if it was to fall into anyone's hands, it made sense it would be yours.
Well, I fear I have not dedicated as much time to experimenting with music as I have with other things.
No, of course I've had to do that for you. Here. And she hands them, like, a stack of composition.
Ah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps I will dedicate more time to pursuing this endeavor. I suppose I can't get as much trouble for experimenting with notes and compositions as I can with other things.
Maybe not immediately.
So, you seemed quite cross with me the other day.
Oh, you were bold enough to put that in a past tense. Well,
I was inquiring as if that was still the present condition.
I'm absolutely furious with you. Yes.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
You seem to have absolutely no concern for your own well-being.
I don't think that is quite the case.
If I may use a turn of phrase, if the hypothesis is the most obvious one, given the amount of evidence behind it, well, what should I think?
Occam's razor, of course.
Indeed.
Well, this might be one of those strange exceptions to a oft-quoted principle of philosophy. Yes, I realized that what I did was dangerous, foolish, short-sighted.
Please continue. There are several more.
I'll leave you to add to that.
Oh, I am mentally, believe me.
My proclivity for words does not reach the same scope as yours. But I do believe that to understand these creatures, these phenomenon, we must take risks. And I perhaps stepped too far too soon. But I do not regret my decision. I understand that this might cause you further anger. But these are things that we have to understand for the safety of all of us.
Don't do it again.
I cannot promise that, but I will promise that I will consult prior to making more foolish decisions and listen to sage advice.
I suppose that's the best we're going to get.
Very likely. I can be quite stubborn.
I've noticed.
Well, if you are finished composing, I believe that Jimothy has finished preparing lunch downstairs, if you wish to join me.
Certainly.
Danni escorts Tilda down for lunch.
Do you have a pleasant, to the degree you wish it to be, lunch together? Anything else you guys want to get up to? Okay. Then I have some shenanigans for you to get up to. Let's see. Find some, like, happy music. It's shenanigan time.
Shenanigans!
Perfect. So, it's been a couple of weeks. You've been experimenting, you've been training, you've been making some upgrades to the Citadel once again. Most importantly, you've been resting. You've been getting a good night's sleep. You've been sleeping through the night without the interruption of detectives getting into your business or strange lichen creatures scratching at your windows. And I think if everyone is amenable to it, unless anyone has a reason that they think they would not go, you've had a particularly interesting day of training. You've all been working on something, whatever that happens to be for you, particularly hard, and you all need a break. And so I think the group of you, after these couple of weeks of downtime, put on some nice clothes, venture out into Grimsey to one of the more popular taverns for a drink and some entertainment. Is everyone amenable to this? All right. What's the name of this dang tavern? Because you know I didn't come up with one.
The Gilded Lily.
That's lovely. This is a fancy place. This is a place where the drinks are a little bit more expensive, where the company is pretty well dressed. This is a place where there is regular entertainment booked for the stage that is set up permanently in the corner of the tavern. You all make your way downtown to the Gilded Lily, dressed as nice as you see fit. Some of you prefer to dress up more than others, so you can make that choice for yourself. You make your way down to the Gilded Lily one particularly busy evening. There is some light music playing from the corner as a minstrel is set up on the stage, just sort of playing sort of ambient music, a little bit lively, kind of keep the mood up in the place. The bartenders are working hard, serving everyone. There are a few serving staff sort of making their way around to tables, serving not full meals, like tapas, like some snacks, but nice stuff. I don't know. And you all find a table and sit down. Just as the order some drinks, just as the main entertainment for the evening makes their way onto the stage. You've seen posters. You've seen the advertisements that were sort of posted all around the outside, and a popular bard who has come to Grimsby before, but has recently sort of made his way back into town. He is quite the musician, quite the singer, a bit of a comedian on top of that. Duke Hogwood makes his way to the stage. So I'd like to thank longtime viewer, 70th time caller, GMaster, for the NPC name.
Why?
Amazing, G. One of your best.
As Duke Hogwood makes his way onto the stage, a lute in hand, he greets the crowd with much charisma, too much laughter. There are always at least 2 jokes made about his name, and though they may be a little bit randy, they're always funny. And then he sits upon a stool and begins to play. I have a question for each of you. How to phrase. I want to know from each of you what your character finds most attractive in another person.
I feel like Tilda already went over this with Billy.
Like physically or anything?
Anything.
Yeah.
Wit.
Wits for Tilda?
Kindness.
Okay.
Pulse.
Did you say a pulse?
Indeed, a pulse.
I can work that. Billy. Alive.
She has
It's a
so
good
many
distinction.
types, I don't know what to do.
It's a good distinction to make.
What if I just
Danni?
said feet?
It's not allowed on Twitch.
Well, Danny or Billy probably took the one that would be funniest for me to say.
Living.
If I just said no pulse. No.
Ew.
No,
No.
it's not like that. No,
It's not
So
allowed.
that's a next card for me. No, thank you.
It's not allowed.
Honesty.
All right. No one said like pretty eyes or anything. It's fine.
Tiggle bitties.
Big titties. Okay. So, Duke Hogwood. I'm gonna say his name as many times as I possibly fucking can because it's incredible. Makes his way.
Now, can I ask a question about him really quick?
Sure.
Is Duke his first name, or is that just like a title that he has given to
No, that's his
himself?
first name.
Okay, I just need to make
Name.
sure. Okay.
He is not the Duke of Hogwood.
Okay.
His name is Duke Hogwood.
Okay. Just a distinction I wanted to make.
No,
Duke
he's
Hogwood.
not the Duke of anything. No, he might tell you he was. Duke Hogwood makes his way onto the stage, and after a few sort of opening jokes, a little opening bit, sort of warming up the crowd, he sits down with a lyre and starts to play. Duke Hogwood is tall. He is lithe and graceful, but also a little bit sinewy. You can tell he's got like a little bit of muscle. He looks very, very sort of like a dancer's build. He is thin but strong. He has this bright blue hair that has clearly been dyed somehow an unnatural color that sort of swoops off to one side, and he sits, picks up his lyre, and begins to play. Villy, this is the most attractive man you've ever seen in your life. Like, bar none. And I will say, Tilda, I think you're not quite sure about this fool at first. He gets up on stage, and you're like, well, what a strange person. I wonder how he's made his hair blue. He does a couple of jokes, a little bit of, just a tad bit of like opening comedy to warm everybody up. And almost instantly, you were like, witty. These are not sort of your average sort of warming up the crowd jokes. He is sort of caught your attention with his particular style of humor. And then he starts to play. The music that he plays is simple at first. It sort of starts out with a quiet, sort of simple enough piece on the lute. Everything sort of slows down around you as the music begins to swell. It's just one man with one lute. You're not entirely sure how, but the music starts to fill the room, and it really hits all of you. It feels genuine, honest, if you will. And it's just nice. It's just a nice sort of experience. You know, sit back, have a drink, and listen for a while as he starts to sing. And as he starts to sing and the music washes over you, I would like for you all to roll. I'm going to call this either logic or empathy, whichever one you would like to use. As the music slowly starts to fog your minds and take you over. You need 2 successes.
I've got like a million banks. I'll use one of those.
2 successes.
Yeah.
So who succeeded? Oh, good.
Everyone but me.
But Villy? Oh no!
So everyone else, you sit back and you think, whew, the drinks are a little strong tonight. But you sort of let the calm wash over you and then sort of fade away. This man is extremely talented. Very nice to look at. And it seems like puts a lot of heart into his work. And you all appreciate that. Billy, as he plays and starts to sing, something sort of right in your chest takes hold, sort of takes root right there. You have to talk to this person. You have to get to know him. If you don't, you are going to be crushed emotionally.
Okay. So they finished their set.
So yeah, he plays for a while. Eventually he brings up the rest of the minstrels that were playing before. They start to play sort of another upbeat tune, and he puts the lute away. Thanks everyone. Y'all clap. Amazing time. Wonderful entertainment. You're so glad you came. It was worth every penny. And Duke makes his way over to the bar to grab a drink.
Billy sort of looks over to the bar and I'm gonna go get another drink myself. I'll be right back.
Of course. That was splendid. Oh my goodness, the musicianship. Whew. Bye, Billy.
Bye. Sorry, I thought you were telling the table.
Nope, just making conversation.
Billy doesn't wait for you to finish, I assume. Says, okay. And gets up and makes her way over to the bar. What'd you do?
God, now I have to figure out how Billy hits on people because I just assumed it was like a mutual thing. Billy will buy them a drink and have it slid over.
Okay. You buy what kind of drink?
I don't know, scotch?
I like it. I don't know what he likes. I was just basing it off of what you said. You ask the bartender to send a nice scotch over to Duke, and just as he is finishing throwing back one scotch, another is delivered, and you see the bartender several stools down sort of nod to him, pass him the drink, and then sort of nod in your direction as if indicating where the drink came from. He picks up the glass, sort of swirls it around, sniffs it a bit, looks directly at you, nods, and takes a drink.
Does he seem receptive to her?
Sure. He looked right at you.
So there is looking at someone. There's being receptive.
He looks at you, but he looks at you like this.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think she'll go over.
Okay. So you make your way over, sit on the stool next to him, and he sort of looks over at you and then looks straight ahead again, sort of sipping at the scotch you sent. Just nods and says, "You've got good taste."
I appreciated your set and thought I would show you how much I appreciated it.
Well, I'll have to find a way to thank you, my patron of the arts.
I haven't seen you in town before. Are you traveling?
Always traveling through, making my way around, finding the right audience.
That's quite an exciting life.
It is. I didn't catch your name.
Billy?
Billy. Well, a pleasure, truly. You know mine.
course.
So, Villy, you here alone?
Could be.
An interesting answer as any.
What I'm saying is I have no attachments to be staying. If you're interested in not staying.
Well, in that case, I suppose there's no encore on the table. I don't have a place to stay here yet, but you're local, I assume?
Got a place down the road.
Well, I suppose if you do have friends you came with, we can always come back for them later.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Lead the way. He downs the rest of the scotch, stands with a very dramatic flourish, offers an arm.
I guess Billy takes it. She's more of the arm offer type, but yeah.
Oh, so you both offer an arm at the same time.
Yeah.
And he's sort of, oh. And then takes your arm. Lead on.
I will take him back to the house.
You take him back to the Citadel?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where my room is, right?
Sure. Villy. Well, the rest of you, first of all, see what is about 3 minutes.
The quickest
conversation.
pickup ever.
You see pickup expert Villy walk over to the bar, sit down several seats away from the blue-haired Duke. You see her order a drink and have it sent his way. You see him nod to her. You see them have a brief conversation. They get up and he takes her arm and they walk out of the bar.
Well then, she doesn't waste any time, does she?
Sorry, what just happened?
Well, Villy will have company this evening, I would gather.
You know, she was talking to someone in her room the other night.
Really?
Yes.
She's much better at this than I thought. Would have never guessed. You don't think it's Christopher, do you?
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't see them. Oh, I don't know if she wanted me to mention that. She did lie
Mention
and say
what?
that no one wasn't in there, so...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Alright. Well, I could repeat myself if you'd like.
No, won't be necessary at all. I think I will probably be staying in my quarters tonight, just to give her some more privacy.
Alright.
Villy. I'm not mad, I'm impressed.
I have one question for Tilda and Alina before we cut back to Villy. You made it known to everyone that you were putting up the protection runes, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Villy? You, with a blue-haired bard named Duke on your arm, make your way down the street, chatting, making small talk. You find him incredibly easy to talk to. You talk as if you've known each other for years. And with him on your arm, you make your way back to the Citadel, open the door, and unmolested, lead him through and up to your room, where I assume you spend the night.
How much do I like? Billy doesn't normally have people spend the night. In general, usually it's just the physical stuff. So does she like them enough to let them spend the night? Especially since she doesn't know them.
Yep.
Okay.
You all have a great night at the tavern. Make your way back to the Citadel or back home. Have a restful night's sleep. And the next morning, you wake up in your beds, Billy, with a perfect stranger beside you. And we'll leave you on this. You wake up sort of in the early hours of the morning. Billy, your head sort of swimming a little bit, even though I'm assuming you probably didn't drink that much. You had like time for like a drink or two during the set and then left. So it's a strange sensation. You feel a little hungover. And then as you sort of roll over, you see Duke laying there beside you. He rolls over, sort of props himself up on an elbow. Says, "So, nice place."
Yes, it's very nice. A lot to take care of.
So when do I get to meet your friends?
Would you like to?
Well, sure, if they're important to you.
All right. I'll be making breakfast soon. Sure, they'll be down for that.
Great. I'll get dressed. And a little bit dizzy, a little bit tired, but mostly yourself. You make your way down to the kitchens to make breakfast. The rest of you, I assume, the next day joining Billy for breakfast, as I think you're accustomed to at this point, because you know she's gonna make it. And it's gonna
why
be
would
good.
I pay for it if Philly's just making it anyway? So
make your way down or into the Citadel, and sitting there at your breakfast table is the blue-haired, very handsome and talented bard from the night before.
good morning.
Good morning.
Just grinning to herself, takes a seat at the table.
I certainly hope I'm not intruding.
Villy makes a large enough breakfast for twice as many of us, so I think it should be just fine.
That seems right. Classic Billy, am I right?
Did you, have some lovely conversations last night?
Oh, sure, if you want to call them that. And as he makes you all extremely uncomfortable, you have breakfast with the newest guest to the Citadel, Duke Hogwood. And we'll leave it there for today. Because you all look like you have no idea what's going on, and I like that in my players.
I got
He
it in
does not
twice
get to
this
say-
episode.
He does not get to say classic Billy. He has not earned that right yet. The fuck?
Leave my boyfriend alone, okay?
It's only a little bit suspicious. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us today and getting up to a lot of shenanigans, I would say, happened today during this episode. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks to my lovely players for hanging out and going on this here journey that we're taking. We've got some questions for experience points to do before we leave you today. So let's do those very quickly. Did you participate in the session?
Oh, yes.
So much. Everyone did so much participating today. So proud of you. Did you confront any Vason?
Did I?
Did you?
Oh, yeah, I did. The doctor.
He's the doctor of Vason now, officially?
Not technically, but I'll allow it.
Okay.
Because
Did
it
I
was pretty
confront
intense.
myself?
Sure.
Metaphorically, yes.
Sure, everybody can mark that one. Did you identify a previously unknown Vason?
I mean, a lycanthrope.
Did we
hadn't
count
really-
that last time for identifying Danni
We did
as a-
not,
We did
because
not.
we wanted
No.
to wait until the next time.
Okay.
No, because only Billy saw him. Sure, why not? Were you affected by your dark secret?
Yes.
Yes.
Nope.
Extremely, Alina. What's the next one? Did you take risks to protect other people?
Came upon a sleeping werewolf. Yeah, sure.
I think at least 3 of you did.
I don't know.
Danny.
I think Danni, because I gave Danni the XP for doing this stuff last time, like doing the experiment.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff,
true.
So I don't want to double up on that. Just consuming large quantities of poisonous plants.
You could have done some real damage if you'd rolled bad. So yeah, probably.
Okay.
Have you learned anything? What?
Next time,
Billy is a
ask-
pickup artist.
Yeah.
Ask somebody for injecting strangers' blood into you next time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Friendship is magic. Always have someone there.
Friendship is magic.
We learned about friendship. Yeah, you guys can mark that one. Did you develop something in your headquarters?
We did.
did. And did you perform an extraordinary action?
Does
think so
setting up
this time.
wards count?
Does setting up wards and then lying and going back and doing research and changing the wards so they fit your purpose count?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
What about just the words?
I think yeah, because I think that's some pretty extraordinary extracurriculars that you guys did, apropos of nothing to protect yourselves.
Apropos of nothing, they put a fucking
Nothing
stake in our
happened.
door.
It's fine. Anybody else?
Danny broke a pen. That was pretty. It was a pretty big deal.
I don't know if I did anything. I think my extraordinary stuff happened. I got credit for last session.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. All right. I'll mark your experience if you have enough for advancements. We'll talk about those for next time. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks to my players for playing. This is going to be our last Vason mystery. We are going to, after this one is done, we're going to conclude our mini series here, and we're going to move on to something else, which I'm going to keep to myself for now. But yeah, so this is going to be an exciting mystery full of character development and danger, and probably y'all doing a bunch of shit that there's no possible way I could have planned for. And I'm very excited. So yeah, we're coming up on the end of our mini series here, but never fear, we're still gonna be streaming something else, same time, same place as always, 4 p.m. on Sunday. Does anything have anybody they want to plug? Is what I just tried to say. Does anything have anyone they would like to plug?
I do have anyone. I do have anyone we want to plug. Can we do a marvelous plug of our artist Switch Planet?
Yeah.
Can we just stop saying that we want to plug
can.
people? I just don't want to keep
No.
A plug four.
We can do a great shout out for our artist. You saw them all throughout this stream, as well as a bunch of our other shows. They did our art for Slaying 101. They've done other ones too. And I'm totally blanking. They've done a shit ton of art for us. We've all commissioned them at some point. So we have this wonderful artist that you can follow there, witch_planet on Twitter. Their art is incredible. They will turn around a character bust in literally 24 hours as advertised. So follow them. And as recently as like a few days ago, I checked on Twitter and they had commissions open. So go buy art from them because they're incredible. And yeah, they deserve it.
Heck yeah.
Anything else?
Last 2 episodes of Flames of Freedom, this Monday and next Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern, over on Infinite RP. Should be a lot of fun. Wrapping things up.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And at 8:30, we're doing our session 0 of our new Masks game on LB Hack'emup's channel. It'll be super fun. We're gonna learn about the world and we'll flush everything out, I guess.
We're playing Masks. I'll be there. I'm really excited about that. And because I've already gone overtime and I have to go redo my makeup and change my wig for that. So we will see everybody 1 week from today for the next episode of Thursday's Children, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm super excited to see what happens next with this great NPC that I made and that G named. I can't wait. But until then, good game and good night, Internet.